The greatest part about book facing is that you can join in the fun anytime or anywhere. All it takes is grabbing your favorite book, lining it up to your face, and striking a pose. Fire departments across the country are urging residents to close before you doze. Essentially, what that means is shutting your door before bedtime. That could make all the difference in mitigating fire spread, saving your life or that of a loved one. In the wake of increased campus violence across the nation, including that most recent shooting at the University of Virginia that you guys just mentioned, people across the nation are mourning those losses, but it's also raising the more important questions for colleges about campus security. According to wheelcornell.org, nearly 1 in every 5 Americans suffers from post-COVID after infection. Some health officials are even calling it a national crisis. So why isn't more attention being brought to it? Well, we might need to look into where the funding is going. That's right, Justin. I'm standing right outside Richland County Election Office right now, where staff are preparing ahead of the early voting process, which begins on Monday. And we've already seen several voters showing up and lining up to make sure that their vote will count. The past few years, we've seen a big change in consumer habits, with less people doing their holiday shopping here and more of them right here instead, logging in from the comfort of their homes. But some shoppers aren't necessarily choosing that option for their own convenience, but are rather being pushed towards it for the convenience of retailers. The process is simple and takes about 5 minutes. All you have to do is go to the studentaid.gov website, fill out the application, and press submit. After that, you'll receive a confirmation by email, but your application might not be processed until the site officially launches later this month. Cooking a meal, turning on the light, or amping up the heat. Leading into colder months, these everyday activities could turn into potential safety hazards.
House fires include everything from electrical problems, cooking problems, putting too much wood in the fireplace.
Reports show that within a 5-year period, 26% of fires occurred in the home, according to the National Fire Protection Association. What's even more concerning, 75% of fire-related deaths were traced back to at-home blazes, smoke being the leading cause. Fire departments across the country are urging residents to close before you doze. Essentially, what that means is shutting your door before bedtime. That could make all the difference in mitigating fire spread, saving your life or that of a loved one. A closed door may not seem very effective, it may even seem counterintuitive, but it creates a 900-degree difference, giving you more time to get out of harm's way.
It's really catchy in your mind, and it's just easy to remember, and so because of that it spreads easily, but it also has a good message behind it.
It makes the theme for this year's Fire Prevention Week
Fire won't wait. Plan your escape.
all the more fitting.
We're learning all this information today that I never knew about fires. Today I really think that I would really be prepared.
It's teaching our families why studying up on fire safety is so important.
So we can be safe.
So we can know what to do.
In Irmo, Caitlin Ashbaugh, Carolina News. It's election day, the final day to vote, and that could leave some voters scrambling to find a way to cast their ballots. But Columbia's citywide public transportation is providing a way to change that for the better.
We're offering free rides on our services.
That's a service Comet offers every year.
I used to live in Columbia, downtown in the city, and took the bus everywhere. And so having something accessible to all the places that are usually not quite on the route, and especially as the fees went up in the last, I think, year or 2 years, it's really a great option.
We started getting calls almost a month before asking if we were going to offer it this year, because people were anxious to be able to go vote and wanted to make sure that they had a way to get there.
You can hop onto a Comet bus at any station. It'll take you to any polling location that's in the area. All that you need is a valid photo ID and your voter card just in case. Keep in mind this is all at no cost to the public. Some city residents agree that fare-free opportunities provided by public transportation could ease lack of voter attendance caused by transportation problems.
I think anything which makes it easier for voters to get to the polls, to and from work, I think is fantastic.
But Jeriana Williams Biblioni has high hopes for how this can improve more than just voter turnout.
South Carolina as a whole has had a lot of issues where people have felt like voter suppression was taking place. And one of the things that we can do to alleviate that is having accessible public transportation to these polling locations.
Reed says bringing the opportunity to light was a no-brainer.
Transportation is a barrier for some people, and we do not want people to miss out on their opportunity to let their civic voice be heard.
Anyone can catch the comet. For more information on how, you can check catchthecomet.org. In Columbia, Caitlin Ashbaugh, Carolina News. Bookface, ever heard of it? That's the social media mini-trend urging people of all ages, but especially younger audiences,
Smooch, 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 smooch.
to return to their reading roots. The hashtag has hit nearly 11,000 posts on Facebook and more than 126,000 on Instagram, and it's leaving a positive impact on our schools, our teachers, and our students, according to Pleasant Hills librarian Amanda Yeomans.
I think anything that has a positive light to reading, and kids are on social media, even if we don't think they are, and if they see things and they see people they admire promoting books, I think that's really, really powerful for them.
Her students here agree.
Well, it's fun for little kids.
They say their favorite part of the trend is being able to choose a character or alter ego.
You literally can pick any book that you want to just be your face.
And they're absolutely right. The goal of the project is to have fun and combine real life with art. The greatest part about book facing is that you can join in the fun anytime or anywhere. All it takes is grabbing your favorite book, lining it up to your face, and striking a pose. It could even bring avid readers out of their comfort zones.
Just giving different books a chance that they wouldn't normally read.
A trend that's destigmatizing the idea of picking up a book over a device. In Lexington, Caitlin Ashbaugh, Carolina News. Black Friday, that familiar holiday shopping tradition, could see a dip in popularity this year. Economists are warning inflation could mean a surprisingly quiet weekend for retailers.
I haven't shopped yet, so I don't really know what the prices are, but definitely if the prices are higher, people might be getting a little less gifts this year.
But that isn't stopping local boutiques in Columbia from preparing for the rush anyway.
I start preparing the store around October going into the holiday season.
We love the holidays. We're really well organized when it comes to all those things. So honestly, it's not too much at all.
Higher prices aren't the only reason retailers could see less foot traffic this season. Over a 7-year period, the nation saw a 15% increase in online shopping over in-store. Another study shows that out of nearly 800 billion USD retail sales, 209 billion were online-related purchases in 2021. In the past few years, we've seen a big change in consumer habits, with less people doing their holiday shopping here and more of them right here instead, logging in from the comfort of their homes. But some shoppers aren't necessarily choosing that option for their own convenience, but are rather being pushed towards it for the convenience of retailers. Some companies are starting to make an unlikely call, encouraging online shopping in order to avoid more crowded storefronts.
We've turned our station online, and so with that, we are now fulfilling online orders throughout the season.
But many, like Rebecca, don't plan on straying from tradition.
I like in stores. I think there's something fun about being in person and getting to pick it out in person.
If you're like Rebecca and prefer grabbing right off the rack, it might be worth the extra time to step out this Friday if you're able. But don't forget to do your research on what deals you could find online instead. In Columbia, Caitlin Ashbaugh, Carolina News.